Today on Too Many Projects Garage, my name's Josh, and we're working on my dad's newly acquired 1963 Ford Thunderbird. And as you can see, Ford Thunderbird, pretty nice shape. All things considered, you can tell it's had a little bit of a restore. At one point, it's got some Bondo issues here and stuff like that, but apart from that, it's in really good shape. Very little rust. Let's pop open the door here so you guys can see what it looks like inside. Interior is in pretty decent shape. We've got a new dash pad that we need to install. That's one thing we're gonna work on today. And check out the rear here. Look at this, super cool. It's got the center, spot where you put the fuel in. I don't know how to actuate that. I'm sure it's easy. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. Pretty clean. Just got a little bit of fiddly things that we need to sort out. First thing is, one of the biggest things, since it's starting to warm up, is we've got to work on the AC because, it's hot outside. And this car did originally have AC installed from the factory. We have a little plaque that says, Ford factory installed, AC. So we'll show that on the screen here so you guys can see what that looks like. But as you can see, there's no compressor. It's all disconnected. And we have a brand new kit that my father acquired. We're gonna go ahead and open it up and see what's inside and go from there. Well, he's gonna whip out his key here to cut it open. There you go. Look at that. Ooh, oh, packing peanuts. No, we don't like packing peanuts. At least they're the biodegradable ones, because, last thing you want is plastic everywhere. Cornstarch. Here we go. Oh, okay, so we've got a box within a box. This must be the condenser, I would guess. Then we got the compressor. Oh, we got a couple lines. Yeah, here we go. There's first line. Second line. Some short pieces. We just got to piece it all together. Luckily, all the original lines are on the car, so shouldn't be too hard to figure out where everything goes. Is that oh, there's the bracket. The much needed bracket. We are missing it. We might want to spritz that bracket down with some paint, I'm sure, just because it's not painted. Oh, what else we got here? Well, that's just packing. I think there's something on the other side, on this side, right here. And all the, there's a expansion valve, and, oh, so this is where we might have some issues, Dad. It's got, where you have to crimp those, and I don't have a crimping tool. I don't have an AC line crimping tool. We might have to acquire said tool, but yeah, it looks like you're supposed to just size them to whatever, fit you want, and then you crimp them. Pick up these peanuts. Luckily, these are the biodegradable ones. All right, well, hey, where's your dash pad?
I left it at the house. We'll do that tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, well, let's see what we need to do, and we'll be back here in a second. All right, everybody, we got the shroud off here that was covering up the condenser and the radiator, and the old condenser, which is massive, by the way, is just sitting right here, and the hoses are just coming off of it. I managed to break this on accident. It just goes right here. We'll have to figure out how to repair that, so that's fun. In comparison to the new condenser, it's quite a bit smaller, but I guess maybe everything's more efficient these days or something, I don't know. But it looks like it's already just loose. You can just pull it up out of there once we get the hoses off, and it should be easy. It's kind of neat, this old AC system, though. It's got a little sight glass built in line with the actual hoses, which is kind of neat. Normally they're on the dryer, but in this situation they're not. So I'm gonna get these two hoses off here. Actually, maybe just this one hose, and then that should allow us to just yoink it up, and then we should have plenty of room for the fancy new condenser. Also, I've got paint drying over here on this bracket, which I think I missed a couple spots, but it's fine. I got to do a few coats anyways. That is quite a difference here. Look at that. Wow. She's a beast, but serpentine flow, and this is parallel flow. So a little different. The cool thing about parallel flow, it's more efficient with R134A, but if you ever need to flush it, it's impossible to flush because it would just flush between this tube instead of through the whole thing. So it's not very efficient. But anyways, we're going to see about mounting this. I believe it probably comes with some mounting hardware, I would assume, to mount it in this baggie here, I would guess. And yeah, we'll figure it out. Looks like these holes here are what's meant to be used. And then I guess maybe this. Look at there, bracket installed. How nice is that? Fits perfectly, very sturdy. Now we just got to find a different spot for our coil, and we got to cut this fuel line a little shorter because it's rubbing up against the bottom of the bracket. We don't want that rubbing through. That would be dangerous. So, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. Looky there, we got the compressor installed, looking all shiny and whatnot. We're gonna have to find a spot to relocate the coil, but that's not an issue. And then we've got to mount this to the radiator. And what I'm thinking is, they didn't include it, but what I'm thinking was we're gonna do is get those like oil cooler style zip tie things for that to attach it to here. I think that will work really well. Then we'll figure out our hose routing for the dryer and everything and where that's going to mount. So we're pausing on that for now, and we need to get the evaporator out to change out the expansion valve, because it's R134 now instead of R12, even though technically an R12 the expansion valve would work. It just doesn't let it get as cold. And we're working on attacking the dash here to get the condenser out. We've got our evaporator out, and we've got these little plastic pieces out, or these stainless steel stamped, whatever they are, out. I think they're actually aluminum. I don't know what they are. Anyways, got those out. A bunch of little screws and stuff. Got the little knee bolster thing out. And so we're gonna take this off, that off, and that off, and that should get this off of here. And then theoretically, we should have a little bit more room to get to the evaporator there. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but should be worth it, because we want to flush it too. We're back at it for day 2, working on the 63 Thunderbird. We've disassembled the entire dash because we need to get that evaporator out. And it looks like we're gonna have to take out the center console too, so fun. But yes, we're getting there. Quite a bit to come out. It's very complicated for me in a 60s car. I bet you could do pretty much any other job on this car before you could get this one thing done. It's a lot of work, but we're making progress. We made some progress. It's pulled through. There were studs all over the place that we had to remove, and yep. And now we got to cut some lines, but it was a pain in the butt to get the studs off, just because we had a vice grip, because the studs were spinning. So we had a vice grip the stud and then loosen it with a ratchety wrench, and it was a pain. I was not happy to do it, but we're going to, now that we've got it out, I'm going to cut these old lines, and then we should be able to pull it through. All right, we're finally about to make the lines. I got my dad here. He's got this tool from Vivor. You know, why not? Vivor is pretty good. They make all right stuff. And we've got the right size.
And now you need a wrench or something.
Thing, and we're gonna.
Well, I don't know. Is that all the way together? That's all the way together. That ain't the right one.
Well, it says that's what that is for.
It's all the way together.
You see on
all the way crimped.
See, it says number 8 die set is for 13/30 seconds. Yep. This is 13/30 seconds.
Oh, you have to give me them purple ones back.
I want to look at that. Let me look at it. We got it on the vise here. Got everything in place, proper crimping and everything. Turns out it was the right one that was in there. We just weren't thinking it was, because these are already touching. But since this is flexible, it should squeeze. Anyways, and I got my Craftsman pocket socket on here, because why not? And I'm just gonna crank this thing down until, basically they said 1/8 of an inch from the bottom there, and we'll see what happens. All right, this was pretty tough, but I cranked it down, took the pin out. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, there goes the tool. Look at that. Looks like a properly crimped line. If you compare it to that, pretty much looks identical. How cool. We got the hoses all tightened up and cut and crimped, and they look pretty professional. Now we're just putting this top back on and trying to get everything put back together, basically, slowly but surely. And then we'll try putting it in, and hopefully I cut the lines to the right length. You'll find out shortly. Well, here we go. We're gonna try to get it back through the firewall. Oh, it's not gonna be fun. All right, it's been like a couple days later here, and we've got all the lines plumbed up. They're not super elegant, but definitely a lot better than I've ever done before. This is the first time, and it's windy. Sorry, everybody, if you can hear the wind, but yeah, we got all these lines hooked up. We just haven't vacuumed it down yet. Yep, we got the dryer hooked up and everything. It was quite a process, but we did it. And I'm sorry about the wind. So we got her all wrapped up in the engine bay pretty much. We just got a few more finishing touches, like put this cover back over and everything. And then fill up the hole where the grommet is, because the grommet doesn't fit perfectly anymore. Also, we did this, I couldn't figure out where to put the coil, and I was like, oh, well, I could just mount it here through this bracket. This is already tensioned, So as long as I don't need to untension this, then it should be fine. And I can take this off if I need to tension or retension or whatever we need to do. But I think that's pretty elegant solution. Keeps it all tidied. So pretty happy with that. And we're gonna continue tomorrow. We're just doing it little by little bit, you know, just taking our time with it. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves and frustrate ourselves. So it'll be tomorrow and we'll do it again. All right, we're back at it again. I've got the AC machine hooked up. We're just gonna make sure everything seals and everything's good and we charge the system and it functions before we decide to finish up putting the whole front end back together. My dad's looking at the vacuum right now, vacuum system, because in order for the AC to work correctly, you gotta have good vacuum because that runs the actuators. Like, we're probably gonna replace this tank because it's damaged. And see how this hole, it's supposed to be in there, but it's come out. We could probably fix that, but if we can buy a new tank, we're probably just gonna do that. And then we've got to figure where all the vacuum hoses route and where they go and replace them, buy new ones. It's a process, but it looks like they just deleted the entire AC system when they replaced that carburetor. They just got rid of the compressor, they got rid of all the vacuum lines, just cut them. You know, there's just random pieces of vacuum line just sitting around, you know. So we just got to figure that out and we can get it all back together. And maybe in the next few days is the goal. So it's a process, guys. Check it out. Been a couple days here, but we've been slowly eating away at this thing, trying to get it taken care of. And as you can see, this thing is broken into two pieces here. Just falling apart, cracking. So I designed a new one. This is for the cooling damper door. And I 3D printed it out of TPU, about 1 millimeter thick. And check this out, it's pretty cool how it works. This just flops down like this, and then it seals it off like that. Pretty neat. And it's just as flexible as the rubber, and it'll probably hold up better, you know, over the years. So just because it's plastic versus old rubber that cracked. All right, it's been a couple weeks. We're back at it. We're putting the dash together. I had to fix this, 3D printed a little circle to go in there and taped it all up because it was like broken out all right here. So, and then we got the other one in. Dash is gonna look fairly nice, a little dusty right now. And the only thing we got left to do in the engine bay is hook up this wire. That should be very easy. So that's good. Oh, and fill up the hole for where the exhaust or the AC tubes are coming out. Also, we've got a lot done in here. Everything is back in. We've got all new vacuum lines attached and everything, so that's good. We had to replace a couple of the vacuum diaphragms because those didn't function. Also, we found out the little vacuum switch. See where it says off heat and defrost? That's a vacuum switch that controls the vacuum between the heat and the cool. Well, it wasn't working, so we had to disassemble that and clean it and grease it up and all that jazz to get a good seal. So that's working now. Also, we had to replace the thermostat, which is right there. Had to replace that because the old one was broken. We're replacing all the lights with little LED ones for the illumination, so it's nice and bright. So next thing we're gonna do is put the dash in, and honestly it'll look a lot more like a vehicle once we do that. Well, when we were cutting the holes for the grate and this got shattered too, so I had to 3D print another little hole here. This one was shattered probably when we took it apart, so I 3D printed a little piece here to go in to kind of make it circular again, and then I wrapped it with tape. Same thing with this one. There's a big chunk missing right here, so it wasn't a circle anymore, so the duct couldn't go on there like it's supposed to. It actually makes it a lot stronger. It's not going to shatter on us, and we should be able to get the ducts up on there just fine without too much struggle. All right, we got it stabbed in place. We just got the one bolt in the middle on there. We're gonna have to install the steering wheel and all that jazz here in a second, and then install the brackets on either side, and then that'll get this fully secure. It was a doozy, but we did it. Just update you guys on what we've done. We got a new harmonic balancer, as you can see. We got it put in. Did that off camera. And my dad is working on making a new vent with an inner tube, a duct, vent, whatever. Duct, that's correct. And we're gonna put it right here because there's a big gap between where this goes, the vent there, and then the box. So if we can make it connect better, that'd be great. And then once we're done with that, then we should be able to put hopefully everything back together. We're trimming off the excess here so we can get it stabbed in, and then theoretically we'll have some AC that blows, you know, through the vents and not through inside of the whole dash. That'd be great. That's the goal. There we go. I think we just gotta line that up and then there you go. That top is getting a little stuck there. There you go.
That should get there.
Stick that up under, yeah. We'll have to cut a slit where that bar is,
Yeah.
but that's not a big deal. So that bar can go through. But all right, we're gonna try to get this all situated and we'll be back. We got all the pieces laid out here that we need to put back in the car. So now we just got to figure out how to put it all back together. We should have been a little bit organized with the screws, but oh well, we learned. So hopefully it'll come all together fairly easily. All right, we finally got it together. He's driving it. AC is working. Belts are squealing. We gotta tighten up the alternator belt, I think. But we still have like 1,000,000 screws left over, which is pretty typical of a project I work on. So
Got some of them going the door.
got a new rear view mirror, which is cool. Yeah, some of them go on the door. Everything's put together for the most part. So it's pretty exciting. AC is good. I'm happy about that. And we got to see if the fuel gauge works. So that'll be next up. Got the Thunderbird out here at the Route 66 Plaza in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. And it's got the historic Route 66 bridge right there with the old truck in front of it. Super cool. It's neat. If you're ever in Sapulpa, you should stop by and check it out. And then back there, down the road, they got a cool Route 66 car museum, which is neat. Got a cool little sign here and everything, and paint on there, little mural. Pretty fancy. It's a beautiful evening today to be driving a classic vehicle. Got a cool international truck here. Magnum, it says on it. Let's look at the interior. Oh, pretty beat up. What if it runs? I bet it does. It's got brand new tires. Well, maybe not brand new, but pretty nice looking tires on it. I lied, they're not brand new. They look pretty bad actually. Yeah, pretty cracked up. But look at this cool bridge. Iron. Back when they made really cool stuff. I feel like all the rivets are really neat. Looks like someone smashed their car or something into this. Look at the hatch, it's all bent up. It's pretty crazy. There's been a car wreck at the bridge. Someone lost their little tykes. This is some original pavement from Route 66, this concrete. Pretty cool. You can tell they put new concrete here, but then this is the old stuff that they used to drive on back in the day. Pretty neat. And there's some patches here too, as you can see. And they got it all the way up to right there.
Take a picture inside here on the lights.
Oh yeah. All new lights in there. Pretty nice. Listen to it purr. Running really good.